Hi, welcome to our third demonstration inspiration video on doodling. You really only need a few tools in your enthusiasm to doodle. Most people have tried doodling, but today I just wanted to make some suggestions about things to think about while doodling that may change it up a little bit for you. So we're going to take our template again, and I'm just going to throw a shape down in the middle of one of the triangles, just to get started. So now I've kind of created something that I need to work from in order to fill out my triangle. So I'm just going to go and acknowledging the edges of that triangle, I'm going to go right up to it and anchor my graphic onto that edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to anchor another set of lines to that edge. And it's kind of coming out sort of a viney, sort of leafy look and feel. I'm not trying to create a drawing. I am just free-flowing, using lines, sort of filling in the space in a pleasing way to me, kind of trying to balance it out a little bit. And so unlike the paper we created, I am considering there's limitations. I am acknowledging the edges of the triangle, and I'm just free-flowing doodling. You can throw in some color as well. With the shape I initially created, you then get the negative shape, the other shapes that are left behind. And those are really interesting to play around with. If you were setting out to do a landscape or a still life or something else like that, you wouldn't, you're going to consider those negative spaces, but you wouldn't necessarily draw them out in this way, highlight them. So it's kind of a neat way to get started and create look and feel with line and shape in a doodling manner. So you're not sketching this out with purpose, you're just kind of going with the flow and with the shapes and the lines. Have fun with it, see where it goes. Another way to approach it is to create shapes inside, not worrying too much about the edges, but obviously recognizing that things would ultimately go off the edge. And then you're going to focus on the relationship of the shapes you've created to one another. So again, you're acknowledging there's an edge, but you're more focused in the end on the shapes in relation to the other. Another thing you can do is just absolutely focus on the sides of the shape, and I'm just hitting each side using that triangle as inspiration for all of the line work that I'm doing here. And I'm just using all of the edges to determine what I'm drawing. So I'm really inspired by the triangle, the triangular shapes, and the restrictions of this triangle to create my design. Once the basic shapes are in, then I go ahead and fill it in with color, a little more line work, some finer black line for interest. Another thing to think about is not starting with a blank page. You can go back to that paper we made on in the first video, and it's really fun to just pull out some of those shapes. They're more organic because we were free-flowing with that paper making with using the inks. And I like to just go in and find some of those shapes and then just repeat and go around in a sort of free-flowing, fun, kind of relaxing way, and find some really interesting lines and shapes and pull those out. In some pieces you'll find a lot of interesting shapes to pull out, some maybe not as much, and then maybe your line work becomes a little more important. And you just want to have fun with it, go with the flow, let the ink take you where it may, fill in some lines a little darker, add a little more line work, just have fun with it, layer it, and doodle. I hope this has inspired you to look at doodling a little bit differently and to see what you can do with a few simple materials and tools in your imagination. Till next time, thanks very much for watching.